Hi everyone, my name is Marissa Stone, owner of the Systems Lounge and host of the brand spanking new Women's Biz Systems podcast. And I want to welcome you today to the 2019 Premier International Women's Business Systems Virtual Summit, where you get to learn all about the business systems that our speakers are using to systematize and scale their businesses. And today I am going to be talking with you all about what it will take for you to springboard to scale inside your business. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. As I mentioned before, my name is Marissa Stone. I am a biz growth strategist and systems queen. I've been using systems for as far back as I can remember to change things that do not work inside my life. And then as I moved into the entrepreneurial space, I realized that a lot of times women are trying to use these kind of haphazard, not really strategically designed systems to run their businesses. And what I learned was many of my clients have hit that six-figure mark, but are really struggling to get to that seven figures. And so my goal now is to help support those women, moving them from six figures into seven figures by strategically placing these systems into their business so that they can make sure that they free up their time to be able to focus on those projects and strategies and processes that they need to be working on in order to step into that CEO role. Now, part of how I do this is to empower these high integrity six-figure female entrepreneurs and small business owners to actually implement systems that drive efficiencies, streamline their communications, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in just a little bit, and manage prospect and client data so that they can easily scale, because you cannot measure where you are if you don't have a baseline and a goal to get there. You won't make it there. It's kind of like, picking a destination on the globe without a map, as to how to get there, right? So today, I want to share with you some of the ways in which I position my clients so that they can springboard to scale. So let's get started. Okay, so what are we talking about when I say springboard to scale? This is a crucial step. You have to have certain things in place. It's one thing to be working from word of mouth referrals for your high ticket clients, and perhaps you get, a handful of these high ticket clients every year. But it's quite another to really be honing in and working with a one-to-many model and making sure that those people that you're bringing into your tribe are actually going to continue spending money with you over time, right? I always ask my clients, I always kind of begin with this question, right? What happens if you decide to go on vacation? Or if you have something come up inside your family which requires your immediate attention? One of the things that I try to do often is when my kids or my grandkids need me, I try to step away and go and help them. Well, I can't do that if I don't have systems in place so that my business continues to run without me. And that's why this Springboard to Scale program is so very important, because you can hit six figures with this word of mouth strategy that requires you to be there all the time and requires that if you are going to make money, you're going to be working with a one-on-one client. But it is increasingly difficult to scale into seven figures and beyond without some sort of system in place that is going to keep the money rolling with or without you, right? And so why should entrepreneurs really be concerned with this idea or this concept of springboarding to scale? Well, I don't know about you, but my ultimate goal is to work myself out of a job with regard to my clients. I don't want to be constantly working on systems inside the companies of a few clients, right? Because my goal is to help as many women as possible. Well, how can I do that with a one-on-one business model, right? I really can't. It requires me to be on at all times, showing up in the space and making sure that my clients are getting what they need. But there's a better mousetrap out there. Simply put, you have to be willing to implement some of the changes in order to ensure that as you are trying to scale, those systems are in place to help you do so. And more importantly, let's say you're bringing on a team member. Well, that team member is going to want to have an opportunity to grow and develop as their own person, right? And they're, inside their own career. Well, if I'm holding all my ideas close to my heart and not sharing any of that, then how is that person going to have the opportunity to really grow into their own career and do the things that I already know how to do? So springboarding to scale my company is actually crucial to achieving all of the goals in which I want to achieve inside my company, but also those goals in which my team members want to achieve inside my company. Ensuring that not only are they getting what they need, but just in case something ever happens and I need to step away, my company will not go under because I've had to step away for a period of time. I've already put those things into place that are going to help me continue to build my company even in my absence. Does that make sense? Okay, so what are some of the ways in which we can springboard to scale? Step one is to simplify. And I know you guys have heard this before and you're probably like, oh my gosh, Marissa, everybody tells me to simplify and to focus, but it's true. And when I say simplify, I mean simply remove everything from your calendar that you should not or do not want to be working on as the owner of your business, right? And these are things that perhaps you struggle with. Like if systems is not your thing, hire somebody to come in and streamline everything for you. If social media is not your thing, pull in a team member that can run your social media channels. If writing and blogging and vlogging and all of those other things are not your thing, pull in a team member that can help support you in this area. And there's a link below that'll help you to find a team member. I've been using interns from a platform called Gen M, and I'm absolutely loving them because they not only are they getting the experience of working with a reputable company, but then I'm also getting that opportunity to help mold them and teach them what they need to do in order to build their own companies in the online space. They get a lot of experience working with me. They work with me for a 90-day period of time on a project that I need done. We knock it out and we move on. And so it's a great opportunity to really hone in and help that intern and support that intern to learn what they need to know while getting the things done inside my company, the project-based work done inside my company that I want to get done. So I'll make sure that the link is below so you guys can access that. I think that this link gives you $25 off for your first, your first internship or apprenticeship, I believe is what they call them. It's $147 for 120 hours worth of work. So it's very cost effective. So there is absolutely no reason why you can't afford one. It is very cost effective, but more importantly, you're able to support those marketers, those business owners that are following you, that are coming behind you. And then you have the option of hiring that person on full time if you'd like to, continuing the relationship, or pulling in someone else if you're like me and you like to make sure that you're supporting a number of people. So simplify is first, right? And in this case, automation is key. Now, I know there's a ton of conversations out there in the online space today that are pulling us away from automation because they feel like, well, if I'm automating everything, I'm not building relationships. Guys, we live in a world of extremes. You either are or you are not. And that really isn't the case with regard to putting systems together inside your company. My philosophy is this, right? If I'm going to automate a system inside my business, it is because I need to be able to duplicate my efforts so I can show up and be in contact with those people that need me when they need me. But I also need to be reaching out to other people and letting them know the products, services, and opportunities I have available for them. And I can't do it all, obviously. And in order to bring about this process of becoming omnipresent means you're kind of everywhere all at once, right? I can't create an omnipresent social media or online presence if I am not automating, okay? But let's just take a step back for a moment. I want you to consider this. Would you rather jump on a horse and travel 1,000 miles, or would you rather fly in an airplane and travel 1,000 miles? Now, if you're jumping on the horse, it's going to take you however many days it takes you to travel across the country, right? If you fly in an airplane, maybe it'll take you a couple of hours, right? Automation is simply a more efficient system for taking clients from point A to point B in the customer journey. Now, going back to my analogy of riding a horse versus flying, does that flight take something away from your travel experience? Well, yes, perhaps it does. You may miss seeing the countryside, and you may miss out on some beautiful sunsets or sunrises. But you're also going to miss out on all the bumps in the road. You're going to miss out on all the bugs eating you alive. You're going to miss out on being cold at night because the air gets cooler in the evenings. And you're going to miss out on burning through all this time that it's going to take you to get there, which could be better spent doing whatever you've set out to achieve once you arrive, right? And the reason that this is important is because a lot of people feel like automation takes something away from you. And yeah, you're not physically showing up in person and talking to that person in real time, but you're not doing that most days anyway. What you are doing is freeing up your time so that when that person begins to carry on a two-way conversation in the online space, you're not saying, hold on, I've got to go post a few things before I can reach out and talk to you. Because you've already done it. It's already automated. So now you can reach out and talk to that person, carry on that two-way conversation, invite them to take that first step inside your customer journey, which is perhaps jumping on your email list, downloading a lead magnet, getting on your discovery call, whatever it happens to be, watching your latest video, whatever. And my philosophy is this: if you want to have the freedom to connect with your audience members personally, you must automate some parts of your business so that it continues to run on the back channel while you are connecting with your audience members, right? Okay, Marissa, you've convinced me, but what types of things do I need to consider automating? And one of the things that I tell my clients is that there are several different things you need to be automating to help run your business smoothly while treating each client like the VIP that they are meant to be. The first thing that you want to make sure you're automating are certain components of your invitations to jump on a discovery call. This is a crucial step to being able to determine ahead of time whether or not you should spend time with someone on a call, right? Most people do discovery calls and they try to keep those calls in around 15 minutes. But if you know this is a high-ticket client or a potential high-ticket client, maybe you'll spend half an hour or even 45 minutes on that call. Well, if you do your homework up front, right, inside your scheduling tool, typically you can ask a series of questions and help pre-qualify this prospect, which will then save you tons of time because you can jump on that call already knowing what the goal is. Is that goal going to be to upsell them into a high-ticket coaching package, or is that goal simply going to be to refer them to a resource that will help them make their strategic moves that will get them to the place where they can afford your high ticket offer? And that saves tons of time if you're like me and you have these discovery calls on your calendar on a regular basis, right? The next thing you want to make sure you're automating is your onboarding process. Now, the onboarding process can be very, very different across different niches and different types of businesses. But the idea here is to remove all the chaos. Many of the clients I work with, their onboarding process is all over the place. One person is going to come in and do these 3 things, and another person, their onboarding process will be very different, and they'll do these 4 things or whatever. And this is actually the second real step your customer makes inside your customer journey. They are reaching out and inviting a conversation between you and them so that you can get them on a call and begin to figure out whether or not your products or services are going to serve them. And so you want to make sure that you're leaving a good feeling and a good impression in the minds of these clients, right? And there are many different things that you can include inside your onboarding process, from a welcome video to a conversation designed to really set the expectations for how the two of you will work together, to how clients can actually reach out to you. What hours during the day are you available? Should they be emailing? Should they be messenger, or should they be using Voxer or Slack? What platforms are you going to want them to use when they reach out to you? And then it can also include things such as calendar links and questionnaires and schedules of events and much more. It's really up to you what you put inside this onboarding packet, but you want to make sure that whatever is inside it, it gets delivered automagically so that each client has a similar starting experience with you. Think about when you walk into a major retail outlet. Let's just consider the Apple Store. I just upgraded to my iPhone 11 and I noticed a big difference in the way not only the Apple Store looks today, because they've completely redesigned them across the country, but also the systems that they had in place in order to pull people through this process of picking up and or buying their device for the first time, right? One of the Apple stores that we went to had a system and they had it down, and they were moving people through, and in about half an hour to an hour you were in and out and finished and moved on. And another store really didn't have that system nailed down really well. And so as I was thinking about this and applying it to my own business, I thought, okay, those are the exact same company, but with two very different setups with regard to the systems. And I, as an end user, thought to myself, okay, I really liked the first store, but the second store was a disaster. They've left me with this taste in my mouth of, oh my gosh, I do not want to go back there. And you want to make sure that as you're pulling people through your customer journey, you're not leaving them with that bad taste in their mouth, right? You want to make sure that you're giving them top-notch experience so that they are the VIP for the day, right? Period. Bar none. The next thing that you want to make sure you're automating are your contracts and your payment processing systems. There is nothing worse than waiting on the contract to be signed and the money to be paid. This should be one of the very first things that your prospects receive once they agree to work with you. Many of my entrepreneur clients include these inside the onboarding process, but however you decide to do it, make sure that it is an easy process for both your clients and yourself. And there's a number of different e-signature platforms, software platforms out there that you can use, and payment gateways that you can use in order to make this a seamless process, but do everything you can up front to make it a seamless process. The days of waiting on a check to arrive in the mail are gone. Transfers can be made instantaneously through a lot of these payment gateways. And you really need to have yours in place so that it's not only easy for your customer to pay your fee, but it's easy for you to accept it and then begin the process of onboarding that new client and putting them through your customer journey. And then the next thing you're going to want to automate is a communication strategy. Editorial calendars are crucial for this. They help you to run a back channel of communication that frees you up to engage with people in the online space, as I mentioned earlier. Not only do these tools save you tons of time that you get back immediately on your calendar, but they also help you to pre-plan for product releases, events that you're hosting, or other new and cool things happening inside your business. As you sit down at the beginning of the year or each quarter to plan out the quarters of your business, you want to make sure that you're also including a ton of information on that back channel of communication that is going to help people keep up with what's going on inside your business. And by setting up this back channel to run without you, you or a team member can actually relax in the knowledge that the audience is always going to be up to date with things going on inside your business so that they can reach out at any point in time and get problems solved and move through the customer journey with you. Now, I know we're going to dive much, much deeper into this topic in the next session, but for now, I want to say if you're still working from a one-to-one mentality inside your business with the goals of hitting that 7 figures or beyond, you may want to seriously consider joining me inside our brand spanking new Springboard to Scale program. It's opening up in January of 2020, and there's a link below this video where you can click on that and go apply to become one of our members inside that program. I have a 12-step roadmap that you are going to get access to inside that program. And this 12-step roadmap actually walks you through all the things that you need to be doing inside your company in order to set yourself up to scale. We spend about 3 weeks on each and every one of the steps. Here is my copy of the roadmap, and it's really a very robust program. And we spend about 3 weeks on each one of the steps inside this roadmap so that you leave with a completely clear blueprint about exactly what needs to be done each time you introduce a new product or service inside your business. And you get these weekly calls from me, and you also get all your questions answered inside the program and also on those calls, because my goal is for you to have a complete blueprint and those systems in place before we move to the next step. Because how are you going to then bring on a new product or reach out to a new market if you don't have a template from which to work to set yourself up and continue to springboard to scale? So the link is definitely below this video. Make sure you guys click on that. We would love to see each and every one of you inside Springboard to Scale. I think that it is the most brilliant program I have designed to date, and it gives you that opportunity to really hone in first on making money and second on spending money, which is the crucial component to scaling your business. Reach out to me on all channels under the Systems Lounge, and definitely do not forget to click the button below and join our Facebook community. I'd love to see you guys over there, and I'd also love to have you join us on the Women's Biz Systems podcast. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really, really appreciate it. For those of you that are part of the All Access Pass, stick around, because we are going to be taking a much deeper dive into this concept of springboarding into scaling your business in the next session. If you've not yet grabbed that All Access Pass, click on the button below and snag yours right now, because not only are you going to get all the live sessions that you're watching right now, but you're going to get every single one of these much deeper dives that I'm taking, and these are gold. Not even kidding, gold. And 50% of what you guys are spending on your All Access Pass is actually being funneled into the AWISH Academy, which is huge for us this year. It is our mission to help those women coming out of domestic violence, and I want you to be a part of it. If you decide that you do not want to upgrade to the All Access Pass, there's also an opportunity for you to donate on that same page, so certainly click on that button below. You don't get the All Access Pass ticket along with that donation, but you do get the opportunity to support those women coming out of domestic violence. Okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Join me inside the next session, and I will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.